Hi, welcome to Star Power Alchemy YouTube. My name is Alejandra Sophia and I'm delivering to you the astrological news from the macrocosm to the microcosm of you. And this is the Star Powered weekly report from April 8th, 2019 until Sunday, April 14th. We are inside the Aries New Moon 2019. Please click on my video below in the descriptions for the Aries New Moon report. And also tune into my YouTube channel for the 12 signs through the Aries New Moon. You can look up any of the signs. So we've got several key aspects to this week. This is the week Jupiter moves retrograde on April 10th, on Wednesday, April 10th at 10:01 a.m. So that's the biggest aspect of the week. And the second is that we arrive to moon. We're traveling through the first quarter moon, and we hit moon phase 8. On Friday the 12th, and that's the sun in Aries meeting a square in the moon in Cancer, and then we have several key aspects of the sun making to other planets. So the major aspect of this week is Jupiter moving retrograde in Sagittarius. So this particular degree is already an ascensional degree. It's got a high frequency to it. It's really wanting to expand and go beyond. But in the going beyond, it's a bringing through something from the deep past. So this is a very expansive on all levels, because Sag doesn't just expand in one circle. It's like, you know, it's expanding in all these multiple worlds. You can kind of think of it like raindrops. When you watch raindrops on a pond, it's like all these simultaneous expansions happening, like bubbles popping, or possibilities popping open. So it's concentric circles of expansion. And so with being inside of a Jupiter Sagittarius year and all the other things that are happening with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, this particular week, it's just like, because Jupiter's any time a planet's going retrograde, it's going back over. So for the next 4 months until September, mid-September, Jupiter then stations direct in Sagittarius. It's just a going back over everything that's opened up in the last few months since last fall. So just think about anything that's been opening up in your life. And because it's Jupiter and Sagittarius, it's really, there's a magical quality to it. There's a wanting to live life more fully, wanting to say yes, wanting to optimize your life. And so wherever you are at in whatever stage of projects or evolution, whatever it is, there's this bubbling of wanting to expand on projects and creative endeavors and ideas and whatever that is. Again, it's multidimensional. Sagittarius is a very energetic sign. It's a very it's having to do with the energy body, and so that we're in an Aries new moon, which and with the sun continuing through the sign of Aries, it's really like anything that's really been coming out into the open into your world. There's a going back over things to really just kind of keep at the things that are exciting you. Keep at the things. I mean, it's a really positive year and auspicious in that in our Jupiter Sagittarius year, we have Saturn in Capricorn. So it's a really auspicious year for just continuing day by day with daily vigilance, daily diligence, and daily discipline on your endeavors and all the ways that those endeavors that are opening up in your life. And so inside of this week, we're having an activation through the cardinal cross. The cardinal cross are the 4 signs, the 4 cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, LiBRA, I pronounce Libra, LiBRA, and Capricorn. So because we're in the first quarter moon phase and arriving to the second quarter on Friday, there's the energetic of the first quarter is establishing, embodying, manifesting. So through the sign of Aries, it's establishing yourself, establishing who you are, meeting a square. It's going to first meet a square with Saturn in Capricorn and then Pluto in Capricorn in the week. So we get the first square on the same day that Jupiter goes retrograde. Saturn square the sun in Aries squares Saturn Capricorn. So there's some kind of confrontation. There's challenge. There's a challenge. There's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be some kind of challenge, and there's a challenge to grow. There's a challenge to establish yourself. There's a challenge to establish your power, to establish your self-knowledge, establish also, you know, what you don't know, and getting real with that. So there's a real, because there's a coming sort of head-to-head between Saturn, the Sun in Aries, squaring Saturn in Capricorn, and then a couple days later on the 13th, a few days later on the 13th, the Sun comes into a square with Pluto, which is a really powerful transformational alchemical sign that is also creator destroyer energy. So there's a real, the evolutionary aspect of this week is a real continuing to destroy the obstacles in your own way. And so absolutely, I'm talking on the inside of where you're holding any disempowerment. Ignorance is disempowerment, right? So getting real with ignorance, getting real with not knowing, and a sort of a growing, there's a real kind of, okay, facing up to the facts, but in a way that's positive, not in a negative self-criticism or criticism of negative criticism of reality and other people. And so then the Sun in Aries makes a trine to Jupiter in Sagittarius. So there might be a feeling of intensity this week with the squares developing. Again, there's 3 major squares, and it's all through the Sun sign, through the Sun in Aries, self and energy body and who you are. And because it's squaring off with the 2 Capricorn planets, Saturn and Pluto, and then squaring off with the Moon in Cancer, the primary energy is establishing yourself, embodying yourself through home and family. So getting real with your feelings, getting true to yourself, and also communicating who you are in your home environment. Also could be opening up as well to other people's needs in your home environment. So that being a key thing that Aries has to learn as well, that it's, yeah, there's an aspect of where it is all about you, Aries, and then there's an aspect, because you are sharing that cardinal plane with Cancer, that it's, the Aries in you that loves your family and is part of a circle, is a part of a tribe. But the key thing is learning to individuate, because Aries really wants to individuate. And so establishing yourself through home and family and feelings, subconscious, dealing with subconscious reality. So something becoming conscious this week, because we have the Sun in Aries square Pluto in Capricorn. So yeah, just continuing to be really honest with yourself, sober, neutral, put yourself in neutral, and deal with those aspects of reality with the Sun. Deal with those aspects of reality that are challenging you. And because the Pluto's there, and when we're making a contact with the Moon as well, and Pluto and the Moon, they have some really powerful subconscious. They are really powerful subconscious energy. So there's a real it's a very real possibility of getting clear and honest, something surfacing this week that is just to remember to stay positive, stay in positive mindset. And with the Sun trining Jupiter at the end of the week on the 14th, so the Sun in Aries is now trining the newly, freshly retrograded Jupiter in Sagittarius. So it feels like there's this feeling of sort of landing and like, okay, just keep going, be optimistic, keep looking at the bigger picture in a way and developing these, again, these positive aspects of squares, because squares are challenges, through the Capricorn energies, is learning how to work through the hard things, learning how to get comfortable with discomfort in a way that allows you to grow and go beyond. So it's a really auspicious week for, maybe things clicking together internally that are just, and whatever challenges you're meeting, inner and outer. And I really do believe that no matter what is happening on the outside, which of course some really powerful, challenging possibilities do exist and always do exist with what could happen outside to really challenge your world. And so I believe that the number one challenge is how we're dealing with it internally. And so that's the power point. It's the internal strength. It's the internal fortitude. It's the internal spiritual ideologies, the belief systems that are upholding in a way that's positive. It's also all embracing as well. So with Jupiter in Sagittarius and making a retrograde this week, and some of the contacts with Mercury and Mercury makes a contact with Jupiter and Sagittarius, so, and also with Venus making a strong conjunction with Neptune this week, which is tomorrow on the 9th. There's just this, continuing to, on an evolutionary level, growth mindset, embracing your bigger dream possibilities, or your bigger self, is continuing to release any internal belief systems, structures, traumas that put life inside of a box and diminished you or diminished life into other people and other cult, whatever it is. Like, there's a real wanting to open up to the whole world. There's a wanting to open up to the whole universe. So there's a real, because of the Neptune aspects this week as well, opening up to, your heart chakra, an all-encompassing belief system that is all in your emotional body, and that upholds you and upholds others as well. So really continuing to clear out the channels of negativity, and also in working on your dreams. And so it really feels like a way of continuing to balance yourself out, because of the nature of, because we're in an Aries new moon cycle. Again, watch my video, I suggest. And so the Aries being a cardinal sign, and then all the aspects this week of this first week of the first quarter moon, there's a real kind of establishing yourself and coming into balance with yourself, and working on that. And because of the cardinal signs and the quality of the cardinal energies is that they thrust, and there's a clearing energy, there's a flushing energy that wants to happen in those signs. And when those signs are clear, it's a real, just thinking of the power cardinal cross of Aries, Cancer, LiBRA, and Capricorn, just being, in the most powerful version of those archetypes, is really being in a presence with yourself, authentic presence that's able to stay connected to emotions, but not take other people's emotions too much in. It's having really good boundaries. It's knowing yourself from your relationships, but it's not cutting yourself off from relationships and just being too self-focused. It's also having, a strong feeling for career and purpose, right? Capricorn, and then Cancer as well, home and family, whatever that means for you, and in our circles of belonging and our tribe, because Cancer is tribal. So when those signs are in their really powerful, empowered versions, it's really about arriving to presence. So a key word for the cardinal signs is presence, and authentic presence. And so that gives one the ability to speak the truth, and also to listen to people's truth and accept it, instead of being in a real push-pull power dynamic. So that's continuing to be, and also globally, as you can see in the news, there's a lot of constant power struggles. So let's see what else. Anything else? I'm looking at my little calendar here. And so with Venus at the very end of the week, so Venus is making 3 aspects this week. Venus in Pisces, so she's the Queen of Cups. She's the Princess of Cups. So if you look up the Princess of Cups in the tarot deck, there, and also the Queen of Cups too, because there's the mature aspect of Venus and Pisces, but there's this real longing and to be in tune with oneself and one's dreams and feelings, and really connecting into that. And so with this week of Venus making a conjunction to Neptune, which is tomorrow the 10th, April 10th, we've got somebody living his dream over there playing drums, which is awesome. And I don't know if you can hear that. And then Venus makes a sextile to Saturn in Capricorn, and then a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. So it's really interesting to have this squaring up with the Sun, creative self coming into a square with challenge and who I am and being challenged by things. And then Venus is sweet Venus, not little, sweet full Venus is having these really strong kind of romance. There's romance in Neptune and Pisces, and romance, just the romance of life, and dreaming, and fantasy. And so the things being that it's Venus, and Venus is sensual and about the body. I feel that it's, making your home, making things look and feel the way you want them to, because Venus has her appearance aspect, and she's also Lakshmi. She's she likes things clean, and she's an artist as well. So bringing out the artist in you in the way you're dressing, the way maybe it's time to get a haircut, maybe it's time to challenge or change your color, something, because it's also she loves color. Venus loves color, and in Pisces it gets very, very colorful, and she's very moody as well in Pisces. So really paying attention to the lights, like the lights at night, like maybe keeping things down low when sunset hits, and it's instead of putting on all the lights and knocking out your circadian rhythms. Put on blue lights, put on candle lights, just continuing to keep the vibe like down low in a really sweet way and cool way, and also the music you're listening to, and noticing how that effect the music has on your body and your brain waves. So then Venus, so it's really interesting to have like these two. Here's Venus having these working well together, because the sextiles are, Venus is making a sextile to Saturn in Capricorn, and making a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn, and pretty much at the same time. I mean, it is the same time as the Sun in Aries, making those within a day apart aspects to the challenging aspects squaring off with Saturn and Pluto. So it feels like a real what a cool setup there is, that there's a lot of inner support as well. So part of this Venus Pisces with sextiling with Saturn Capricorn is continuing to learn how to, because there's a how-to-ness to Capricorn. How do you do this? How do you do that? Learning the strategies, Saturn Capricorn, learning the strategies. And because Pluto's in Capricorn too, it's blowing away old strategies that were more keeping you in victim or disempowerment, thinking small. So to open up to and transforming to new strategies because of Capricorn. There's a strategist inside of Capricorn. And so learning how to really navigate your emotional waters so you continue, because Pisces, in order to get in more, I'll say, control of yourself and emotional mastery. So in terms of choice, choosing, and learning to source, because Pisces, sourcing the deep waters, learning to source the emotions that are rightful and positive, and that are you in a constant self-loving talk. Inside the realm of Pisces, it's like everything exists. The good, the bad, the ugly, the sublime. So all these, and it's in deep unconscious emotional states that are primal, especially, hitting survival levels, absolutely. Like Pisces is down deep, has a bottom feeder in there as well. It's feeding off of survival emotions. And so, as you're learning about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, and how that is totally connected into your emotions, and you learn to source your emotions into a positive state that can keep you more connected to your parasympathetic, and take you out of if you're in a constant stress mode unconsciously, by constantly thinking negative thoughts subliminally, unconsciously. So this continual process of uprooting the negative paradigm and reconnecting to a positive paradigm that is a wholeness-based system, is what I really believe is the evolution, and it's inside of the story that that astrology reveals to me, and that the signs reveal to me, that the planets that I see this story of separation to wholeness that we each are taking part in, and therefore the Earth is taking part in this. And the Earth is the ground zero for this love play, that's taking place, this interplay, the lila, the divine play here on Earth, and which I also call rock bottom, because it is rock bottom in a good way, in a funny way, in a ironic way. So there's some really strong positive aspects. Just keep going, keep doing daily diligence. Keep up the good work, really noting, the habits that are positive for you, and continue to learn, because it is a time of listening to other, always have somebody who's, doing better than you, someone you admire, to be a teacher for you. So, just continuing to learn from the great ones, while also trusting your own innate genius and brilliance that's in there, because it is about individuation as well, and learning to trust your intuition and connecting in with your intuition. And that connecting into intuition is connecting into this wellspring of your dream realm that through the bridging work of manifesting your dreams, that is up to you, and the only strategy there is you being you. So there we go. This is the week of April 8th to April 14th, 2019. Please check out again my videos that I have below in the descriptions. Please subscribe. I offer daily or weekly reports, and also check out my Instagram at Star Power Alchemy. And I'm offering an astrology course from April 17th until June 19th. Please email me for readings at starpoweralchemy@gmail.com, and my website is a work in progress. Thank you so much for watching.